Welcome to Community Connections. I'm your host, Loran Graham, and this show is all about highlighting the great things that nonprofits are doing in the Spokane community. And today I have the honor of having as our guest Heather Hamlin, the Executive Director of Women Helping Women in Spokane. So, welcome, Heather.
Well, thank you.
So, I just appreciate you being here today. And so, for those that don't know, tell me, what is Women Helping Women?
Women Helping Women Fund started about 30 years ago, and we aim to empower women and children to create healthy families and vibrant communities. So it's based on the premise of collective giving. When we all give a little bit, we can magnify our impact, and then we can make real change in the community. And that is really what Women Helping Women Fund has been doing for 29 years now.
Wonderful. So, it actually has quite a long history then.
It does.
And I understand there's a story behind that. Do you want to share a little bit more about how it founded?
Yeah, it's a great story. So we have six amazing powerhouse women that really pioneered their times to form Women Helping Women Fund back in '92. And these women were together at lunch one day. We had attorneys, we had the first mayor of Spokane, Vicki McNeil, Mari Clack, Vivian Winston, just some really, really great women. They had lunch and they said, I wish that there was a way that we could empower women to understand that there's power in their pocketbook, there's power in their purses. And if we all gave a little bit, that we could make this difference. And so they said, what if we started this organization? And what if we had a luncheon? And what if everybody had to pay $100 to come to this luncheon, which was just a lot of money? And so they started this, and they got this idea at lunch. And right after lunch, they went over to Winston Cachet. Vivian Winston, one of the founders of Women Helping Women Fund, that was her husband's law firm. And they incorporated that day right after lunch. And Women Helping Women Fund has been in existence ever since.
Wow. So, deep roots in Spokane, which is
Very,
great.
very deep roots.
So, tell me a little bit more about your journey as a leader. So, how you came to be executive director, and what's your vision for the organization?
Okay, perfect. I have a little bit of a different background. I grew up in Elk, the bustling metropolis of Elk, Washington, north of Spokane. And I was always interested in leadership. I was always interested in getting involved and learning how organizations work and why decisions are made the way that they are. And that really led into a lifetime of just kind of service so far. And I anticipate that I'll probably be doing this a long time. I went over to Western, and like so many others, I came back over to Spokane, and I started out in accounting, actually. And I realized that I like people too much to be sitting there with numbers all day. And it's just been saying yes to new opportunities. I had about 5 years with GSI.
Okay.
And that was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Leadership Spokane really changed the way that I view our community. And when this came up with Women Helping Women Fund, I threw my hat in the ring, and they said, "We want you." And that has been about 2 years ago now.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, you mentioned that there's power in the purse, or this collective impact that people can have when they pool resources together to affect change. Can you tell me a little bit more about the mechanics of how that works with Women Helping Women?
Sure. So we host an annual luncheon each spring. This will be the second year that there's no luncheon, obviously.
Right.
Takes place in May, and we're sad about that. But we also have a new opportunity on how we can magnify our impact with collective giving, and collective philanthropy is kind of the formal term for it there. And what that looks like for us now is that we will be hosting a campaign again this spring, a fundraising campaign. Every dollar raised goes right back into the community, and then we will be doing it a little bit different. So individual donations are great, sponsorships are great, but also it's individual members. So this membership rollout is very, very unique. It has been wildly successful in other women's funds across the country. And what that looks like here locally is that members can pledge a minimum of $600 a year, just $50 a month, to be a member of Women Helping Women Fund in this new community. And then we will focus on educating, we will focus in on social engagements, and we really want our members to have a deeper understanding of the needs that are here in Spokane and the issues that women and children are facing. And so we will do that all year long, every year going forward, which is different from a once-a-year event model that we've traditionally been known for.
Sure.
What I think is really exciting about the membership model is this collective giving community is going to award grants like we've always done, but our members are going to decide which issues we're going to focus on, and then they're also going to help us choose which grantees will receive funds.
Okay, interesting. So the members actually vote on the themes for the year, on what's going to be the focus
Yeah.
areas, and then also on the specific grants as well.
Yep, on our
So,
final lineup of who the grantees will be. And those focus funding areas will look like homelessness, food insecurity, domestic violence.
hmm
And I think that that gives us a real direction. You know, about a year and a half ago, we released a report called "The State of Women and Children" in Spokane County, and that report has really been impactful when we see the data. We have a benchmark for where Spokane was as of May of 2019, and then when we go back and we look at those issues, we can tell whether, as a community, we're moving the needle or not,
hmm
and maybe those are the areas that we want to focus in on a little bit more.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
So data driven,
data driven.
so that you can measure progress and results and impact in the community. And
Hmm.
one thing that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that I know really makes Spokane, I think, a unique community, especially in the nonprofit area, is this sense of collaboration that nonprofits are partnering with each other and looking for ways to help each other, and not
Hmm.
maybe the competitive feeling that there could be in other communities.
Hmm.
But it sounds like collaboration is sort of at the heart of uh, this collective giving model, that because once the members vote on an issue or a theme, or
Hmm.
then is it fair to say that Women Helping Women will then identify an organization that where those funds can be directed to?
We
Is that
will definitely. We're right in the thick of our grant making process right now. We have our current and past Women Helping Women Fund board members that are visiting potential grantees. That's
Mhm.
happening over the next couple of weeks. And collaboration is key for all of it. So I think it will be interesting to see if we can build a community that has great energy, that does good, and really makes a difference. I hope that more will get involved, because this is pretty special, and collaboration is how we're going to really make a difference.
That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
what's an example of a grant in recent years that stands out that you could share to help our viewers understand?
Sure. So I'll tell you this: we opened up our grant process. We had over $1 million in funding requests, and we wish that we could fund them all. One of the grants that was awarded last year was for Catholic Charities and their CAPA program.
Okay.
So their CAPA program really focuses on Circle of Security as a parenting tool. And those high risk parents, they need some parenting tools. We have blueprints that we bring with us from our own childhoods. And if we don't have a new blueprint to kind of go off of, we're just resetting whatever parenting we had. And Circle of Security and CAPA really aims at helping to break those multi-generational cycles, and also
hmm
just to provide parents with some really, really good tools on parenting. And I didn't realize, reading kind of the grant report, how impactful that would be until I myself and my husband, we took the class.
Oh
It
wow.
was a 10-week course. We're foster parents,
Okay.
and
Wonderful. Wonderful.
sometimes we have children in our care that are hard. We need to be able to provide trauma-informed care. And
hmm
when I saw what Circle of Security and CAPA is doing through that Catholic Charities program, we got to see it firsthand and how impactful it was. And it changed the way that we parent. And I think that that's pretty special. And then we got to see firsthand some of their other clients, and how impactful it was to them too.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
really neat. And this was in 2020.
Hmm.
So tell me, what was 2020 like? Obviously, it was very challenging for nonprofits with the COVID
Yeah.
pandemic. How did Women Helping Women adapt uh, to that?
Oh, 2020 threw everybody for a loop.
Did.
I think that we're alone together, right? And I think that there's a little bit of companionship in that all of the nonprofits were trying to make our way through this. Women Helping Women Fund is uniquely situated because we have such a strong donor base. And our donors have been attending that luncheon for decades, right? Nearly
Mm.
30 years. And we had our event scheduled in 2020, and it was scheduled for May. We were halfway through Women Helping Women Week, which was our first annual Women Helping Women Week in Spokane last March, and we were halfway through it when things shut down. So we were about 6 weeks out from the event, and we pivoted very, very quickly. We knew that things were probably not going to come back for a while.
Mm-hmm.
We were planning, 1 to 2 years of kind of rolling blackouts, if you will, of staying at home orders. And so very, very quickly, about 3 weeks after things shut down, we launched our resiliency campaign, which was a 6 week online fundraiser. Again, all of it funds those grants that we make out in the community, and we were blown away at the response
Wow.
and really, really grateful. So from there, we really have been pivoting. We knew that we needed to increase our impact to help those nonprofits that are on the front lines. And so we rolled out Instagrants, which is something that we do each month now. We give back to a nonprofit to fill an immediate need. So this month, we are doing a diaper drive
Okay.
and raising funds for Spokane Valley Partners, which is the kind of operating umbrella of Inland Northwest Diaper Bank.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing right now.
That's awesome.
We've done yoga mats for the girls in recovery at daybreak. We supported Coats for Kids and Tom's Turkey Drive. It's just a way that we can pour a little bit back in the community each month. And that's something that came out of COVID. It's just reimagining how you can continue to make a difference and do good, but do it safely and socially distanced.
Wonderful. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, so what do you see in 2021?
Oh, 2021. I hope we have. I hope we're able to get together. I think that we're all just really lonely, right? And a little bit of Zoom fatigue and
Yes.
a little bit of planning. And the unknown is scary for everybody, regardless of industry or what your personal situation is. My hopes for 2021 is that this collective giving community will continue to grow. I hope that our donors will continue to support the good work that we do so that we can increase our grant making, because this is the year that our nonprofits need it most.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I hope.
Wonderful. So, what drives your passion as you lead this organization? What gets you up in the morning and say, "I'm so glad that I'm with Women Helping Women"?
I would say just the unlimited potential of the organization. When you're building off of something that has worked for so long and so many passionate women, it's fun to continue to reimagine. What if we did this? What if we could give a little bit more? What if we were able to connect with this nonprofit in a new way? Being data driven, looking at the data constantly right now has been really, really interesting. We're trying to get some new indicators refreshed for where we are on the State of Women and Children report. And I think all of it is really exciting. I think I don't know what I'm doing every day when I get up right now. And that's pretty exciting when you look at an office job, to not have the same thing over and over and to know that you really can do good.
Absolutely. So, and
Yeah.
it sounds like the donors, when they partner with Women Helping Women and they become members and they get involved, then it sounds like there's a common theme or value that they want to be able to help women in crisis or women and children in crisis in the community, but maybe they don't know exactly where to start or how or which organizations to contact. That by pulling everything together collectively, then and then trusting Women Helping Women and their decision making process and the data to identify where the greatest needs are and so forth.
Yes.
That it's really a place that sort of takes all the legwork out of for individuals having to hunt down, okay, where can I have impact when you're gathering all that data and doing that for them, right? So that's
That is one of the biggest things of Women Helping Women Fund is we've always been extremely good stewards of donations. And when COVID hit even, we were further along in our grant making process right now. We had a pretty final slate of the grantees that were going to be awarded. And we had to make some tough choices, and we had to go back and say, all right, we have already done site visits. We've analyzed your financials. We have, poked holes in your program budgets, and we have championed you in your program. But how are you going to pivot for COVID? How do we know that this is the best investment that we can make right now on behalf of our donors? And a couple of those nonprofits, they weren't able to pivot, or their program could not be done virtually. And those are hard things. But when you are looking at a limited budget and where you can do the most good, we really, really analyze that information to make sure that it's going to the best programs.
That's important. Yeah, people want
Yeah.
to know that their dollars are actually going to,
Hmm.
the cause that they're hoping it will, right? So
Exactly.
that's good. For those that are following the show today, if let's say somebody wants to get involved, they want to volunteer, become a member. How do they contact you? What is the best way to
Sure.
get in touch? Yeah.
Well, we welcome all volunteers, members, donors, unique partnerships. I'm shocked at how many partnerships we have out in the community right now, especially with higher ed. Contact us. We have a contact form on our website. You can contact us by phone or email, whatever works best. Members, if they want to get involved or make a donation to support this wonderful work, they can do that online at whwfspokane.org. And then the /give together is the membership portal right there.
Wonderful, excellent. Well, I know we just have a few minutes left. I wanted to make sure we got that in there so people know
Thanks.
how to contact you. You had mentioned that there are other women helping women funds in other communities. So is there an overarching national presence, or how does that all work?
A great question.
Yeah,
No, Women Helping Women Fund is local.
it is
We are
just a
local.
Spokane.
It is just a Spokane organization
Uh-huh.
for 30 years, like I said. About 10, 12 years ago, we caught the eye of a group of women, again, pioneering women in the Tri-Cities region. And they came to us and they said, we would love to do something like this, an annual luncheon, and then all of the funds go towards grant making. We'd love to bring something like that back to our area in the Tri-Cities. And so there is a Women Helping Women Fund Tri-Cities. We loan our name to them.
Okay.
It's very similar mission, but completely separate organizations.
Okay.
There's no national organization. We're governed by a group of amazing, amazing women on the board of directors.
Wonderful.
But it's all local.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, and actually, just because of the success of it and how effective it's been, other cities are looking and saying, "Hey, how do we do that too?" So that's an encouragement that you're on the right track too. So
I hope so. And it's kind of neat to know that we're all in it together. Even though Women Helping Women Fund is very unique, there are women's funds across the country. And this collective giving model, we've already been, combining funds, pooling resources to magnify impact. We've been doing that through the luncheon for years. And this new membership community is really just an evolution of that. And we're not alone in it. There are women's funds across the country that do this. And upon full build out, those women's funds give out $800,000, $1 million each year into the community.
wow,
And that's where we want to get.
wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, let's help you get there. So
I hope so. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Heather. It was a pleasure to have you on the show today, and that's all the time that we have. And thank you for joining us on Community Connections.